Alright, so back out here tinkering around in the garage a little bit. Alright guys, well it's Saturday morning and I just took the EP3 trans apart and I put the LSD in it. I swapped out the final drive, so the final drive is still the EP3 final drive on here. I also had to put on the speed sensor from my other one because the speed sensor from EP3 trans wouldn't allow the differential to spin freely. There's the stock EP3 diff. You can see it's got the bar in it. There's the final drive ring gear off of the built trans. So like I said, the ring gear I swapped over to the mfactory LSD, and so now I just got to finish putting this jewel together. You know, holy crap at the junk. You know, all kinds of crap in here. K-series. There's my all-wheel drive trans. There's another case. That's a K24a2. There's a built K24, K24a1, K24a2. There's actually a V20 block. One set of slicks, another set of slicks, some skinnies. Turbo kit. Another turbo kit. Well, part of it. Alright, so today I went to AutoZone. I picked up a couple of straight sticks of brake line with the flares already on the end in the fittings. And so, you know, previously they had the brake lines run through here, but they also had a hole here that they had the shifter cables running through. Well, I'm not going to use this hole for the shifter cables as I'm running them up under the car. So since the hole was already there, and you can see the rear brake lines coming out of there, I just utilized that hole and bent me some fresh lines, you know, to go in there. They're not beautiful, but it beats them just being mangled going in that hole over there. A little bit cleaner like that. And we can see here on the inside of the firewall, I mean, you can see how like those existing lines, they've been bent and over, or these lines here, they're coming in, you can see they're pretty straight, and then I've got them bent to where they don't touch each other, and then they go right into the proportion valve here. So once I get the dash and everything on, you're not gonna see any of this stuff down here. So it's still better than it was. All right, so this is Sunday evening, and I got the EP3 trans back together with the LSD in it, as you can see all the way through that. Feels good. So already went ahead and stuck the mount on there and got it all sealed back up. My clutch should be in tomorrow. As long as the clutch comes in, I'm gonna get the stock K24a2 over here and get the clutch bolted up to it and slap the EP3 trans on it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So my buddy Nick is over here. He's over here somewhere.
Is there some special way to take this thing out? Does it come through this bracket?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah, you go say hey.
Oh, what's up? Man, this sucks.
What are you trying to do?
Bro, I'm trying to slide.
Did you take the little slider bracket off of it?
Huh?
Did you take the little keeper off of it? Off of that bracket? There should be a little keeper on it.
Really? Because it's so corroded, I don't see jack on there. I mean, I just...
Yeah, it should go back through it. So my buddy Nick that was over yesterday, he's over here getting a couple parts. Check out his YouTube also. He's always doing something up with his Integra or whatnot. And I'll put a link to his YouTube account down the bottom. So be sure to check that out. So far I've got the fuel pressure regulator mounted back in here. And I whacked off this fuel supply line shorter because it was way up here. And I put a different fitting on it that's not a compression fitting, that's actually a flare. I also secured the return line up next to the frame rail there, and also got this shock in as well as this 36mm spindle. So yeah, it's slow go. So yesterday I did get the LSD put in the EP3 trans, and now I'm just waiting on my clutch to come in so I can slap this baby together. I got my clutch in yesterday, and so just got the stock K24a2 cleaned up. So I'm about to put this clutch on the motor and stick the EP3 trans on it. So here we go. So I picked up this Action Stage 5 off of Facebook. It's used, but it's still got a ton of life left. I got it for a pretty good deal. So I went ahead and grabbed this, so I'm about to get it stuck on there. Alright guys, so I just got everything over here. I got my pressure plate, my clutch disc, I got the bolts that holds the pressure plate onto the flywheel, and I have a clutch alignment tool, and I just dug out of my box. I made sure it fit the disc, and it fits the pilot bushing in the flywheel. So I'm gonna get this set up, and we're gonna throw this on real quick. Alright, so what I just figured out is that the K24 flywheel is different than the K20 flywheel, which is apparently what this clutch is, or the clutch pressure plate was for. So I'm going to swap that out real quick. Thankfully, I do have a K24a2 sitting right here. It has a good pressure plate and clutch set on it. So I'm going to pull this one off real quick and see if that's what I need. Clutch right here was almost brand new. It's a Zeddy clutch. I just put this in about 6 months before the car was totaled on this one, so still a good clutch. I just can't use it for the high horsepower. So I definitely think this is the flywheel that I need, because that other pressure plate has the pin between the bolts, as opposed to the K24 where it has it right beside the bolt. So I'm gonna get this stuck on that motor real quick. Alright, so we're back at the K24 now. And you can see how the pin is right beside the bolt hole. So whereas opposed to the K20 flywheel, the pin is between the bolt holes. So I'm gonna put just a smidgen of thread locker on there, just medium strength. Just gonna help it out a little bit. Tighten them down with the Ugga gun. So now that I got the clutch mounted, get this transmission stabbed on here. So I got it stabbed up on there. Now I just got to round up some bolts and get her bolted up. So conveniently enough, I had a bag of bolts that I had labeled EP3. Apparently I had the insight to throw all the bolts in a bag. Good looking out for myself. Transmission and the motor made it up. Got all the bolts in. Got my rear bracket on. And I put the intermediate shaft on. So I guess now we're gonna set this engine hoist back down and get it back in the shop, clean all this crap up, and try to get this motor sat off in the bay. I just gotta take off like some of this tape and stuff I put on here just to make sure it didn't get scratched. But hey, just got a K24 sitting in there. Now I just gotta finish hooking up everything and getting her going. Kind of time for me to wrap it up for today. I did go ahead and get the axles installed. These are the Type S axles, so they have 36 millimeter spline. These spindles were on my other hatchback. I was running 36 millimeter axles on it, and so I swapped them over this because this car had the drive shaft shot 5.9s, which I'm going to use on mine. So I'm just going to swap the whole spindle and be done with it. But anyway, I got the got both axles in, and of course I got the motor bolted in. So yeah, I feel like today's a pretty good day. Alright, so I got the valve cover swapped out. Started putting this EP3 harness on it. And changed out the injector clips for the 2000cc injectors. Yeah, just trying to figure out routing for this harness. Still waiting on my coolant neck here. So once that comes in, I can stick the turbo kit on, because the turbo sits really close to that. So you have to put that on first. But yeah, it's coming together. Alright, so I got the intercooler mounted back up. I got the cold side intercooler pipe back on. Got all the wiring done. Well, I say all the wiring. There's still a couple things I got to do. I got to run the charge wire for the alternator, the hot wire for the starter, and then once my swivel neck thermostat housing comes in, I got to run a fan switch and sending unit for the temperature gauge to there. So that'll be additional. And of course I got to hook up my fuel line here, but I'm going to turn a fuel pump on and purge some fuel out, make sure there's no metal or anything in the line, since I redid this hose right here to make it a little nicer, but I want to make sure there's no metal shavings in this line. So I'm going to turn the fuel pump on and let a little bit of the fuel come out, make sure there's no metal shavings in that. So yesterday I got the valve cover replaced. And as you can see, I bought a hole saw and I put a hole in the firewall here. And this is the factory grommet and everything off of the EP3. This is the EP3 harness. So I think that at this point I'll go ahead and finish out this video, and I think that's probably going to be enough content for one video. So I appreciate you tuning in. Roll Tide.